Hey, this is Valencia, owner and CEO of The Right Agency, also the host of Candid Conversations with Valencia Danielle on YouTube. And when I'm not in front of the camera, you know I'm locked into my boy, DJ J Thrill on Global R&B Radio. Go ahead and play us another hit, J Thrill, because we ready.
You're in the mix on the Red Light Basement with your boy, DJ J Thrill.
DJ J Thrill and my girl, Rose.
He's so dramatic.
Why do you call me Thrill? You know, ladies call me brother to the night. Cause I'm trying.
Listen, this is a family show.
I'm trying to be the thrill.
Don't you forget that.
Your left thigh. Trying to become the funk in your right. Is that all right? Okay, let me get serious. DJ J Thrill.
Dude, like, these 70s pickup lines.
I had to go.
Good job, Turkey.
All right. My bad, y'all. Let me get serious. We back here, you know, and this subject, because we gonna keep it real, because everybody's going through real things in this world. We're going through fake friends. We're going through baby mama, baby daddy drama. You know, so many things going on in this world, right? But along with that, a lot of people out there, we're parents, right? So somebody told me a long time ago, Thrill, why you always be talking about the drama? Because y'all bring it to me. That's why y'all bring me this ratchet ish, and then I gotta cover it. But I'm trying to, Rose. I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to bring more thoughtful conversations. So this, you know, and thinking about that, about how we could give more thoughtful conversation, more impactful conversation, more fruitful conversation that's going to impact people's minds. I thought about, like, what is something that we need to really discuss, and I really want to discuss parenting. And what I've noticed, maybe it's just me, Rose. I've been seeing a lot of over parenting. What I mean by that, or could we say, just rephrasing, to overprotective parents. All right. You know, stopping children from answering from their mistakes, you know, addressing their consequences, or shielding them from the world. Now, you and I may have different perspectives. I know there's that phrase.
I can guarantee you we do.
There's that phrase, mama bear. You know,
Mama bear, that's a real thing.
Her cubs, and then daddy bear gonna throw your ass, right inside the river. Like, go get that fish and bring it home. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
I want to play this, Rose, and this is from Dr. Jordan Peterson. He's discussing why kids need, and you probably gonna disagree, but you might agree. He said why kids need more hurtful mistakes, but in talking about helicopter parents. So I'm gonna play this, and I want you to give me your thoughts.
Okay. All right.
Let's listen. What psychoanalytic literature on the dangers of overcompassion, hyperprotectiveness, helicopter parenting, all of that. When you have children, you have to encourage them. You have to encourage them to take risks because they have to grow up and take their place in the world. You can't protect them too much, because if you do, you destroy them. That's the motif of Hansel and Gretel, right? Two kids lost in the woods. They find the gingerbread house. That's a little bit too good to be true, right? It's not only shelter when you need it, but it's candy. What lives inside the house that's too good to be true? The witch that devours you, right? That's excess compassion. So you don't want your mother to do everything for you, that's for sure. There's a rule if you're dealing with the elderly and like extended care homes, don't do anything for your clients that they can do themselves, because you undermine their autonomy. And so there's a certain amount of harshness that goes along with that, just as there is if you're a good mother, because you have to separate yourself from your child and allow them to make hurtful mistakes.
All right. That is Dr. Jordan Peterson discussing helicopter parenting or overprotecting. So, Rose, what are your thoughts about this?
I feel like for such a short audio clip, that was a loaded message.
Yes, I can agree with that.
That was like almost like slightly overwhelming. I think that for me, I'm coming from a different place because for two reasons. One of them you just mentioned, I'm a mama bear to the fullest, but also because my kids are so young.
Yeah.
Right. And so just for context, my oldest is 4 and my youngest turns 3 Saturday.
Okay. Happy birthday to her.
Yes, thank you. So I'm in a different space right now, I think, than some other parents who have older kids. And so I'm still kind of I'm in that place where I'm almost in denial that my kids are getting older because I want them to get older. I want them to live their lives and
Mhm.
be fruitful and all that, but I am just like, I'm not ready because I'm not ready. They've been ready. They're trying to like get away from me
Mm.
at this stage. But I don't know, like how I feel about the message in particular. What do you mean? Like in terms of like personally? Like
Yeah, just I just want to give just give me your personal opinion on it. Your personal analysis, and then we drive on.
yeah. I think I understand where he's coming from. I'm in agreement with him.
Hmm.
I think from a personal standpoint, there is an internal warfare because there is this person who is a mother and has certain responsibilities, and she has certain viewpoints on where she is in that um in the current space with my kids being babies.
Hmm.
But then there is just me.
Yeah.
No, not with the mother identity, just Rose. And Rose remembers her childhood, how she grew up, and
Mhm.
how she today is grateful for the mistakes that she made,
Yes.
for the experiences that she's had, and the things that she learned from having so many failures and things just not working out and those types of things. And I feel like it's really taught me to have grit about myself. It's taught me to have ambitions and goals. And most importantly, it's taught me to be resilient, right?
Yeah.
And so I want my kids to have that same thing.
Yeah.
It's just we're fighting a little bit. We're fighting. Me and Mama Bear, we're having an internal warfare right now because I have to let Mama Bear know that even though you are mommy and you want to do for your kids and you want to give them the best of everything, the best thing you can do is let them live their lives and make their own mistakes. Because if you continue to essentially live their lives for them and shelter them so much,
Yeah.
you mean well, but this isn't teaching them about life. This isn't reality. So that's the fight that I'm currently in while my kids are young. My interpretation and everything may change as they get older.
Yeah.
Um, but I really think that this one right here is going to wind up winning over Mama Bear.
So for me, I'm the exact opposite. I am the father that was what will sit back and watch them fail. I will watch them fail over and over, learning how to tie their shoe. So that until they and I watch them cry about it, and I say, cut that crying out. I said,
Mm-hmm.
get back in there and try it again, and keep trying.
Sounds like my husband.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's me because because my children are older. I have a 17-year-old, I have a 16-year-old, I have a 9-year-old. Now, especially for my son, and I know I shouldn't separate it, but I do. Especially for my oldest son, you're about to graduate. I have to make sure that you are prepared for the world. So
Mhm.
I let him have every single mistake. Now, did he make a lot of mistakes? Not necessarily. He wasn't that bad. He was a good kid for the most part. You know,
Yeah.
did he mess up learning how to drive? Yeah, he messed up a little bit. You know, did he make mistakes on the way? Yes, absolutely. And I wanted him to make those mistakes. And I let him
Mhm.
fail so that he could learn how to do it for himself. Because if I did it for him, he was going to expect that. I was watching a video
Mhm.
earlier that was saying a mother was talking about how she talks to her daughter who's in college every day, and the college roommate, her daughter's roommate just discovered that, oh, you can wash dishes without a dishwasher. Oh, oh,
Oh.
the daughter's roommate has a car but hasn't driven it in months, and the daughter asked her roommate like, "Hey, is your car broke?" No. Uh, is it something wrong with your car? Are you just saving or something? Like, no. My daddy always filled my tank up. I don't know how to fill my tank up.
What?
Yeah, so I will let them do it, explore, learn how to do things on their own. I taught my son when my son was 9, I made him go out there and change the tire to my car. Was my tire flat? No.
Mhm.
I set the tools out. I set the tools out and I said, take this tire off, jack this car up, take the tire off, put it back on, put the lug nuts back on. and he was struggling, and I sat back and I watched him fail until he figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's my job, and I'm not saying that's not a mother's job. I'm just saying it's like, especially as a growing, having somebody that's about to be a soon to be man, I have to let you figure things out on your own, because the world would eat you up, and it's going to be several scenarios that you will encounter in life that daddy will not be around for, mama will not be around for. You got to stand on your own 2 feet, and you got to figure out. But let me ask you a question, Rose. So, because
Sure.
I know I sat there and told my life story. If we are, how much is overprotecting parents is driven from fear of of our own childhood or traumas or regrets? Do you think that's what some of that overprotectiveness stems from?
Yes, absolutely. I can speak from personal experience on this one actually, because at first I was trying to make sense of this question because I'm like, how would one have an effect on the other? But
Mhm.
I do think about stuff like that because I think about the way that we were brought up,
Yeah.
right? So I have one twin sister and I have two older brothers.
Shout out to the
One has
twins.
Yep, yep.
We-
So I think about how we were brought up,
Mhm.
specifically me and my sister, because our brothers are older. So specifically my sister and I, how we were brought up, what the parenting styles were. You know, my mom was like a drill sergeant, and my dad was more of like the everyman, the goofy, party starter
Yeah.
type of vibe. Um, but I think that my overprotective parenting is driven by fear that I don't necessarily want to raise my kids the way I was raised.
Mm.
And I know that sounds a little hurtful, but I don't mean it to sound that way. I feel like we had more good than we had bad, but I'm like, "Oh, give me all the good, but just leave the bad. I don't want the bad."
Yeah, yeah.
But there were certain things that
But they got to
when
have
I
a little
look
bit, right?
back. Huh?
They got to have a little bit of the bad to toughen them up, right? Or nah?
You got to. I mean, I don't think there's any way around it. Parenting is parenting. It's a challenge any way you look at it. Even though it's very rewarding, there are a lot of challenges. And I feel like some of those challenges I've come across, like even with my kids being so young, they've only been on this earth just like a handful of years, right?
Yeah.
Less than a handful of years. And I am finding that there's certain similarities that I have to my parents that I didn't think I would have as a parent. Cause I was like, oh, if I have kids ever in life, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do this like my parents. I'm going to have my own style and I'm going to da da da. But it's like, it's certain things that are almost like, generational. I feel there's certain habits that you adopt, even things you pick up that you might not even realize that you fall into when you become a parent.
Yeah.
And you learn more about yourself when you become a parent than anything, because it's so like introspective, I feel, because you already have spent all this time. For those who have had kids a little bit later in life, you
Yeah.
spent all this time getting to know you and
Yeah.
what you want. But then you have kids and then you're like, now you're getting to know a whole new you
Yeah.
that you never knew about before, and you never would know had you not had kids. And it's kind of interesting that the certain fears I had,
Yeah.
even when I was like in my early 20s, I'd say, well, I don't want to ever go through. I don't want me and my daughter, for example. I didn't know I was going to have a daughter, but if I ever have a daughter, I don't want to put her through what my mom put me through when we went through XYZ.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be mindful of that. I'm going to try to remember that so that way I don't do that. But it's like you can't call what the future has. You can't say, well, I would never. That's why they say never say never, because you never know what's going to happen. And before you know it, you're going to be yelling or doing what you said you weren't going to do. And you'll be like, damn, I sound like my mom.
You know what?
Like, that's what I didn't want. Like,
You know what? Though?
not at all.
There was like, I didn't understand, and I don't know if it's for you, but definitely for me, because my dad was hard on us, very hard.
Mm.
I did not understand why my dad was or the things he did until I became a father myself, and I was like, I understand why you were hard on us.
Yeah.
And they say same thing for my mother. I didn't understand why she did some of the things she did. Now, when I say some of these things, none of them were bad. I didn't like it. I may not have liked the decision or punishment at the time, but now I
Right.
realize why they did it. But you know what?
Now it makes sense.
We're gonna carry on this conversation once we come back from this double player today. Let's get back into the music. Rose Global R&B 96.3 is the home of the BJ Murphy morning show. Let's get into this double play of the day.
It's time for double play of the day with DJ J Thrill.
DJ J Thrill.
Hey y'all, this your girl Bree, and I'm listening to Global R&B 96.3, and I'm always tuned in to Red Light Basement with DJ J Thrill.
You're catching the thrill through your speaker box. You're banging the hits with Mr. Make It Happen himself, DJ J Thrill.
What up, y'all? We are back here on Global R&B having some juicy conversation with your boy J Thrill.
J Thrill. What it is.
Super sexy Heartbreak Hotel, J Thrill.
You know what it is.
And your girl Rose.
Call you Rose, 'cause you're sweet. You know that song, right? You know that song, right, Rose? It's sweet like...
I can't say that I do.
Rose. Your name is Rose. It's something they singing to you. Can I call you Rose? You really don't know this?
I know. I can't say that. I know that one.
Okay. No, you know what? We gonna play. We gonna play that one just for Rose, because I know the people out there are like, how you don't know this, Rose? Okay, it's all good. Call you Rose.
Like, girl, would you be living under a rock?
It's all good, all good. Let's get into it though.
All right. So in our last segment, we were talking a little bit more about some serious stuff, some life stuff. We were discussing about children being aware of their consequences for their choices.
Absolutely.
And we had listened to a really cool audio that really discussed parenting and just whether or not, as a parent, are you overprotective? Are you overbearing and kind of shielding your kids from the real world? How much is this really benefiting them versus how much is this not benefiting them?
Yeah.
And we had some really great detailed conversation, and I kind of wanted to keep it going. I felt like we were on a really good flow with that. And just being the fact that we are parents, we have very different perspectives. But I like that. I think it's really refreshing. I'm coming from a place where I have babies and you have some older kids.
Yeah,
I think I know what side you're on when it comes to this topic.
Yeah. I'm like Joe
But
Clark.
actually, what'd you say?
I'm like Joe Clark. I threw them bastards out. And that's
You didn't say that.
I'm like Joe Clark on Doggone Lean on Me. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rose.
But I had a question for you, J Thrill. Since you have kids, since you have teens, this question actually applies to you more so than myself. So I want to go ahead and get into this. So from your perspective, I want to know, can a parent's need to control lead to rebellion or secrecy in teenagers? Let me know your thoughts on this.
Yes. 100%.
Okay. Why do you feel that way?
I can tell you, I can give examples. Like I knew girls, like just girls back in the day.
Okay.
Like Pops was extremely protective. What couldn't go nowhere. Couldn't go nowhere, couldn't talk to boys, couldn't even look at a boy. Just extremely like stay away from them. All that good stuff. Became one of the biggest freaks I ever knew.
Right?
Doing stuff at the school, doing stuff on the bus. I didn't seen it all, Rose.
Dang, them girls are busy.
So when you continue to force, don't do this. Well, now I want to see what's wrong with it. I got to get you so that I can live life and discover it for myself. So she discovered the thrill, not my thrill, but she discovered.
That's a thrill. You sure about that? It sounds like you were speaking from personal experience.
I'm just saying. I'm just giving examples. I'm just saying, if you continue to hold on those reins, I think that's what they call for a horse. To hold those reins too tight, you are going to push them away into the opposite direction of what you are trying to build. So that's why when I say I'm hard on my boys and my daughter, right? But I give them freedom to do certain things. But I'm not so lax that you're gonna go out there and do whatever. I have rules as any parent would. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
My oldest, he driving now. Hey, do I have on that? Do I have on the location that locations I know exactly where you are? No, I don't. I don't want to. I don't want that. I don't want that. But when I say, hey, when you get to where you're going, you tell me where you're about to go. Yes, sir. Where you going? I'm going to the skate rink. Okay, cool. Text me when you get there. I just want to know that you made it safe.
Mm-hmm.
I leave it there. I give you. I have raised you to the point that I know. I think I'm a pretty good judge of character to know exactly how you are. So I trust
Right.
you. You have earned my trust at this. You have earned my trust.
Mm-hmm.
But if you burn me, then you're gonna lose my trust, and then now you got to suffer those consequences. And that is
Yep.
what that's another thing that I would say, and I know we got to hurry up because the show is about to end. When we saying suffer those consequences, I think some parents try to protect you from they try to protect you from your own for what you brought on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see, like that your teenage son, your teenage son, and went inside that doggone liquor store and stole that and shoplift. You know it, but
Mm-hmm.
you want to protect him. Like he's a good boy. He's a good boy. No, his ass got to fry. Whatever the punishment is, he got to pay it back. Or if he got to spend that night in jail, so be it. I'm gonna let him stay that night in jail. He gonna be scared straight tonight. Hopefully,
That
Bubba
part.
don't touch him.
Dang.
You got to learn your consequences for your actions. There are consequences
That's true.
in the real world. I can't protect you from the world. If
Mm-hmm.
whatever actions you put out there, be prepared for it to come back to you. So, but to answer the original question, yes, parents, if you hold on too tight, if you try to control everything that they do, not only will it build secrecy, not only will it build a rebel, making them be more rebellious, it will
Mm-hmm.
also build resentment.
Oh yes.
And that's what we don't want to get into.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at this clock now, Rose, and the producers are signaling for us that we got to get ready to wrap this thing up because we come down to the end of the show, Rose.
This
But
is such a good show. This is some meaty content here for sure.
yeah, we didn't talk. Hey, so like I said, Rose, we're trying to give the people some substance to think about. We we can do Ratchet all day. I like Ratchet. It's fun.
I
It's
love
fun.
Ratchet now. I
I
love a good Ratchet trick.
But but we got but by the time they leave this show, by the time we sign off on the air, hopefully they were entertained and they got some substance to talk about and to think about.